Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to talk about a very important topic, that is like if you're starting your career in the call center industry, or even if you have already started, this video is going to help you a lot. So initially you must have been hired for a calling profile. That's where everyone starts from. That's where I had started my career, and I used to take calls. So that was a domestic process. There were only 7 people, and we used to take calls all over from Delhi, uh, South part, and so as it was a domestic BPO, we used to get calls from only Indian customers. So that was my very first stage where I had started my career in a calling profile. And then I gave an interview in an international call center. I got rejected. So I was being rejected in the second round. That was VNA. VNA is a voice and accent round where you are being judged on primarily on your communication skills, on your speaking skills. So they would give you a random, the interviewer or the guy from human resource department will give you one topic to speak on at least for a minute or two. So you would need to speak on that without taking many long pauses, fillers, and so they check your thought process as well. Thought process is really important while you are giving any presentation. If you're even if you're a public speaker, so you should be spontaneous. You should have enough content with you in your mind so that you would be able to speak on any topic. Even if you don't have any idea about a topic, still you should be able to speak on a particular topic at least for 2 to 3 minutes. Continuing to what I was saying, I got rejected in the second round. I got a little demotivated, but that did not push me back. I brushed up my skills, and I again started giving the interviews. I was giving interviews like, I had gone mad. Like on every day I was giving interviews. So it was hard for me. I used to I used to go for interviews because at that point in time I did not even have a bike. So I used to commute by bus, and we had at that point in time we had a financial crunch as well. So only my elder brother was working at that point in time, and my father wasn't working. So then I had decided after my 12th that it's time for me to work. So after working in a domestic profile for some good 6 or 7 months, I thought that let's try in international call center. So that's where I had started my journey of improving my communication skills. So when I had given my first interview in an international call center, that was with HCL. So at that point in time, interviews used to be very difficult. They used to take cream. And so I'll share one example with you. There was this company, Cytel, and the interview was happening. The interview had happened in a Roseate hotel, and I went there, and there were 100 people already waiting for their chance to come. And so I sat there amongst the people, and so we had given a random topic to speak on for a minute. That was the first round. So everyone spoke on the given topic, and once everyone was through with the topic, after half an hour or so, they the guy from HR, he said, apart from Faraz, everyone can leave. And I was like, okay, there are already 100 people, and they had been waiting here for approximately 4 or 5 hours, and suddenly, immediately after the very first round, the HR said that only Faraz can sit, and everyone can leave. So I was like, I had at that point in time, I had mixed feelings. I was happy, at the same time I was a bit disappointed as well, because I was the only one who got selected in the first round, and so everyone would have high hopes. And if I know that kind of feeling when you get rejections, when you get rejected, when you put in that much time in an interview, and you go back home empty handed here would mean that you go back home without the offer letter, without getting an offer letter. So that happened. And so they had so rest of the rounds did not happen in the same day, though. So I was selected in Cytel. I worked with Cytel. And so for the rest of the 2 rounds, the voice and accent round and the final round was with the operational manager. So I was being called in their Gurgaon office branch. So that was my first experience, first international call center experience. And since then my journey had started, and after that I worked with Converges. Converges, I really loved working with Converges. That was really a dream job. And so the crowd was so good and everything was really good. So if you why I'm saying all this, that if you are just starting your career, it is much easier to get a job now than before, than earlier. So there are very big brand names that you can apply, wherein you can apply for a job. What I would say, that you have to have some basic speaking skills. Work on that. If you're not confident enough, give it a month or two. So try to improve your English, try to improve your communication skills, and try to improve your confidence. So try to give as many interviews as you can. This will certainly improve your confidence, and at the end of the day you will know that what type of questions will going to come in an interview, so you can prepare all those questions accordingly, right? And these are a few tips. And apart from that, I would say that apart from working on your communication skills, read aloud. Okay, whatever you read, just read aloud. And what else? Yeah, if you're already working in a call center where you take calls, I'll share some tips with you to how to take good calls. Yeah, these are some basic tips, and which will definitely work on every call. So I have learned these things throughout the years. I have worked with several international BPOs, and so I am sharing my experience, and these tips will definitely going to help you if you take calls. First of all, what you have to do, if you don't understand anything, okay, and if you want to put the customer's call on hold, you do not put customers on hold. This mistake, like a lot of guys do this mistake. They say that I've put in the customers on hold, that I've put the customers on hold. No, you do not put the customers on hold. You put the customer's call on hold. Okay. If you're going to put the customer's call on hold, you have to take permission from the customer before putting the customer's call on hold. Okay, and what you can say that Mrs. Smith, so I'm going to check this for you. May I put your call on hold for 2 to 3 minutes? Would that be okay with you? So of course the customer will say yes. Then you can certainly go ahead and put the customer's call on hold. Now once you come back, so this is known as refreshing the hold, known as refreshing the hold. Okay, so you have come back and now you will say, thank you for your patience, I really appreciate. Okay, and you can say this on each and every call wherever you put the customer's call on hold. Okay, second very important tip will be that you have to acknowledge what the customer is saying to you. Okay, even you can do this. Don't go blank. Okay, tell the customer, give this assurity to the customer that you are listening to him. Okay, and if the customer says anything, say this thing, yeah, yes, I completely understand, empathize with the customer. Okay, this is really, really important so that you can build a good rapport with the customer. Okay, you don't have to do a very long conversation with the customer apart from the process related, but you have to engage the customer. You have to be you have to get totally engrossed in the call. Okay, it should not happen that you're talking with the customer and you're looking here and there and you are just doing a formality. Always remember, if you do this, even if you are sitting like this and you are just taking call, the customer would know that you are not that interested. So this is really important. Whenever you take any calls, sit straight. Okay, of course you cannot sit straight for at a stretch for 8 hours, but yes, body language is really, really important. Stay active, stay hydrated. This will really help you in taking good calls. Apart from this, what you can do, let's say if you do not understand the customer. Okay, if the customer says anything and it just goes over your head, then what you can do, you can ask. Okay, and you have to ask very politely, Mrs. Smith, I'm so sorry, I did not get it. So you can say, Mr. Smith, could you please repeat that? I'm so sorry, I did not catch that. Right. So don't say that come again. Come again sounds negative. Never say come again. Try to refrain yourself by addressing the customers as ma'am, sir. No. Okay. Call them by their first names. First take permission. Okay. So Mr. Smith, can I call you by your first name? Okay. So you would be able to build a better rapport. So in a call, you have to take the customer's name at least 3 or 4 times. This is a very important tip which I am sharing with you. Always remember, if you take a person's name, the person will be able to connect with you in a better manner. So let's say if you are in an inbound process. So there are 2 processes, inbound and outbound. In an inbound process, you get calls from the customers. Okay, we call it a dialer based process, wherein the dialer will automatically throw you calls. Another one is an outbound process. In an outbound process, you make calls manually. Okay, and there are some blended processes as well, wherein you do a back-end work in a half day, and in other half day you make calls or you receive calls, vice versa. Okay, Let's talk about first an inbound process where you receive calls, where you get calls. So as soon as you receive a call, if you have just started working in a voice profile, we call it a voice based profile wherein you take calls. So I guess I'm assuming that this is your first or second day, and this is all new for you guys. So as soon as you receive the first call, you don't have to panic at all. You don't have to panic at all, right? Take some time. You would definitely have a mentor with you standing next to you, okay? And just listen to the customer. Whatever he says, just listen to him. If you do not understand, okay, use the same phrases which I told you to use. Okay, I'm so sorry, Mr. Smith, if you could repeat that. I'm so sorry, I did not catch that. Right? And you can even say this, it doesn't work every time, but yes, you can say this like in your first day or in the first week of your job that Mr. Smith, I'm so sorry. If you I'm new here, and if you could elaborate your issue, that will help me a lot. You can certainly say this. There is no harm in saying this. And try to give a resolution, okay, proper resolution. And process wise, even if you are not sure, take help from others, put the customer's call on hold, and then seek help from your seniors, from your colleagues. This is how you start. Okay. First month is difficult for everyone. It was difficult for me as well, and I used to struggle a lot. When I started having a conversation with international clients, it was really difficult for me to understand them. So I used to ask things again and again. I used to jot down notes in a notepad. This is again a very good habit. If you try to catch keywords, okay, even if you're not able to understand the customer, try to catch keywords, main points, so you would be able to connect the dots. Okay, and then you can seek help from your seniors to give a resolution to the customer. This is how you proceed in a voice-based profile. Whenever you are taking calls, inbound or outbound, always try to carry a big smile on your face. The other person on the line will think that he is being given importance, you are engrossed on the call, you are listening to him. It is really, really important. There are some power words which I had been told in Converges that I used to use those power words, and I used to get very good scores, good quality scores. Some power words are fabulous, great, fantastic. So these are some power words which you can use while taking calls. You can use these power words when, especially, let's say if you have asked any information from the customer and they have given you the information, so you can say that, thanks for giving me the information. You have to show that zeal, and it should reflect in your tone, and this will definitely give you good scores, good quality scores. And we call it, in a voice-based profile, we call it as CSAT scores. What is a CSAT? The full form of CSAT is customer satisfaction. Once you're through with the call, a CSAT form will be sent to the customer, and it solely depends upon the customer whether he wants to fill that feedback form or not. The customer would have some options, rating from 1 to 10. 1 will be poor, very poor, and 10 will be excellent or outstanding. And based on the conversation which they must have had with you, they will give the rating accordingly. And you would get your CSAT scores according to the rating which the customer must have given to you. Your incentives are also based on your CSAT scores. What are incentives? Incentives are the extra income that you get apart from your in-hand salary. That can come from the extra mile that you must have shown while working. Let's say you have taken an exceptional call, you might get a very good prize or a very good bonus as a reward. Okay, these are the perks which you get while working in a voice profile. You really have to remember this thing. Closing is really important. It holds the same value as when you open the call. Opening and closing, these are two really important factors in getting good CSAT scores as well. Okay, so when you do the opening in a call, so give your introduction. It would be process specific majorly, but remember that. And I guess the best way would be to put a sticky note, okay, in front of your system of your introduction. Whenever you start a call, you just refer to that initially, and later on you'll be habitual and you'll be able to remember it. But initially you can do this. And now your opening is good. You have taken the call, you have given a resolution to the customer as well. Now, a very important aspect in taking a good call is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is really important. Paraphrasing will come once you have given the resolution. Like you have done everything on the call, you have given the resolution. Now customer is satisfied. Okay, after that you will say, before closing the call, you will tell the customer about everything in a brief manner, of course, that whatever you did on the call to help the customer, to give the resolution to the customer. Okay, now you have done the paraphrasing. After that you can certainly go ahead and close the call. You have to close the call in a professional, polite manner. That would be, thank you so much for calling, Mr. Smith. It was pleasure talking to you. Another way of closing the call will be or can be that, thank you for calling, Mr. Smith. It was pleasure talking with you. I hope that I was able to help you with your resolution. This you can say. And this would be a perfect call. So these are some basic tips, and you can apply these tips, and you have to apply these tips because the process trainer, the voice accent trainer will going to tell you the same things which I have just shared with you. Apart from this, if you're not aware, you have just joined in a domestic call center, there is no voice and accent. Voice and accent training is given only in an international BPO. So why they give you voice and accent? Because you should be able, so you should have a fair idea of how to pronounce their names of our international clients. Okay, they would give you, so they would train you on sounds. Sounds are very important. They play a significant role in having a good pronunciation, and they actually polish you. Once you get this training, you would know that how much you have to learn. There is a long way, and the kind of trainers that you see the voice and accent trainers, the way they speak is really impeccable, you know, and you should attend those trainings. These trainings are really, really helpful, and these are generally for 1 month, and they tell you, you know, so many things. They give you a lot of stuff. They give you a lot of stuff to read, and you get so many things to know. You get to know about their culture as well. You get to know about US, like depending upon your process. Let's say if you have been hired for a US process, you will be told about their US culture. If you are being hired for a UK process, so accordingly you will be told about the UK culture, and you will be asked to give a presentation on UK culture, on US culture. So these are known as a skits basically. What is a skit? Skit is something that you have to present by enacting. That is known as a skit, and this will be involved in your training, in your voice accent training, and daily you would have several assessments, and the major assessment will be and the most common assessment will be the random topic free speech. Okay, that is the main assessment. And review in an international call center, they would give you a topic to speak in a voice and accent round. They will judge you how like how's your thought process is, you know, how much time you are taking to form sentences. It's really important to speak, to go on and on. Okay, you can take pauses, but pauses shouldn't be very long. So in a voice accent round, they will give you a random topic to speak on for a minute or two. Depending upon the company, upon the process, they would have certain levels. For example, if they are hiring for a B1 level, they would give you a topic for a minute. If they are hiring for a C1 level, they would give you a topic to speak on a topic for 2 to 3 minutes, depending upon the company or depending upon the particular process. Now they have given you a topic to speak on. You don't have to panic, or you don't really have to go blank. You know, that is a blunder. If you go blank, that is a straight no. Okay, you can take pauses. You can even ask the HR that to give you some time to think. Okay, in a free speech, always remember these 3 things. Even if you are not sure of the topic, even if you haven't heard about the topic, you will be able to speak on a particular topic for good 1 to 2 minutes. That's my guarantee.